This is Grumpy Old Gamer coming to you with episode number 2 of The Dwarves. I got an early press copy. I have to play this and hide it away where no one can see it for 10 days from now, when I can release it at 8 a.m. after the press embargo. So I am hiding from my friends. I'm not talking to anyone. I'm just playing the game. Welcome to episode number 2. If you made it this far or you're just joining, please like, follow, subscribe, all the above. That should have some flashy things above here to subscribe, some click on me type things. So make sure you do. We just came in and this guy was working in his forge talking to his wife. And he says, I've got a reputation to uphold. If you can't rely on the metalwork of a dwarf, what can you rely on it? And so I say, what can I do for you? Or I should say, you look dreadful, a bad night. Let's say you look dreadful, a bad night.
You look dreadful.
What a charmer.
The maid gives you an ironic, reprimanding scowl.
Ikana has been crying half the night.
When you were teething, I carried you around the vaults. You played with my beard and I sang you to sleep.
Frala smiles. She's heard this story many times before.
That was 23 cycles ago. But I'm quite sure you didn't sing. You might have grumbled a bit.
If what you've read about the dwarven lifespan is true, it will be another 300 sun cycles and more before you are called to the Eternal Forge. The certainty of one day having to witness Frala's death already burdens your heart.
300 more cycles to live. Whoa, that's pretty rough, dwarf guy. I guess if you were a frail human, you'd be dead when you're, well, in these days, probably about 30 or 40, not 50 or 60. Let's see, what can I do for you?
What can I do for you?
For me, nothing. It's Lot Yonan. He wants to see you in his study.
In your mind, you go through all the recent incidents that might have annoyed the Magus. Apart from a few little squabbles with his famuli, nothing worth mentioning happened since the incident with your beard. You nod.
Okay. I'd better not keep the Magus waiting.
See you later. There's goulash for dinner.
Better not keep the Magus waiting. Alright. Added to the party. What was all that? Alright. I'm getting a little confused. How do I move this guy? Oh, there he is. Just right-click around, huh? Alright, let's go find the Magus.
Hey, groundling! Come to the kitchen, we need you!
Jolison, a 4th-degree famulus and your favorite foe among the students of magic, gives you a disparaging glance and disappears without waiting for your reply.
Tongue-tail! Quick! Or the goulash will get burnt!
You immediately recognize what the problem is. A chain running over a pulley for positioning the cauldron is detached from its mounting, and the cauldron stuck in the fireplace. It's a heavy load, and none of the famuli, who feel superior even during kitchen duty, dare do anything. They might burn their fingers, or even get a bit dirty.
Ah, alright. Let's fix this.
It'd be a waste of goulash. And I'm hungry.
I love
Here,
goulash.
hold this.
Okay, let's see. Talk to the Familius, examine the mounting bracket thoroughly, or repair the mounting bracket. Let's examine
With as much concern in your voice as you can muster, you say,
Oh, no, this doesn't look good.
You're pleased to notice he's dripping with sweat.
I'll get you back for this, groundling!
Let's go ahead and repair this cauldron.
You damned freak!
For a moment, you hope the famulus really does raise his hand to you. But then he comes to his senses and leaves the kitchen, his face bright red.
Yeah,
What
bully.
a pair you are!
Alright.
The goulash is bubbling in the cauldron. You draw the warm air in through your nose, and the smell makes your mouth start watering.
Alright, let's see. What should I do now? Look at the kitchen
Vegetables,
table.
bread, cheese, but the cook is not to be trifled with. Many painful knuckles have taught you that she knows how to handle her heavy wooden spoon, and that she may possibly have eyes in the back of her head.
Well, I guess I better not. I'll talk to Freya for a minute.
Do you know what Lot Yonan wants?
The maid gives you an amused look. She has often accused you of making things more complicated than necessary.
Alright, let's go find this Lord guy.
Of the 200 or so people selected to learn the art of magic under Lot Yonan, there's barely a handful of them you can stand the sight of. You're not at all interested in magic in all its elusiveness and whimsy. Your realm is the Forge.
Alright.
Lot Yonan's vaults are equipped with laboratories, a library, and private rooms for the famuli. Together with the forge, the kitchen, and the other utility rooms, it makes up quite an impressive complex. But compared to the courts of the other magi, the seat of power in Yonandar is small and modest.
Alright, let's get into this study and see if we can progress this quest a little bit. Special attacks deal a lot more damage than normal ones and often have additional effects, such as knocking down enemies. Good to know. I did observe that, but that is good to know.
Master Lot Yonan, Frala told me you wished to speak with me.
Ah, Tungdil, come in. There is a bag over there in the cupboard. Take it out, please. It contains artifacts belonging to my former famulus Goren. I wish to return them to him. He's in Black Saddle, 300 miles away.
300 miles? That's a long journey. Who are you going to entrust with this?
I was thinking of you.
Me?
There is no one better to take on this journey. You have acquired much knowledge. You are almost a scholar. You know more than most famuli about Girdlegard and its inhabitants. It is time for you to go out into the world and see it with your own eyes.
With pleasure.
With pleasure. What's in the pouch? Maybe I'll meet other dwarves on the way. Let's ask what's in the pouch.
What's in the bag?
Magical devices. You better leave the bag closed if you want to avoid any accidents. Dwarves don't really like magic, and magic doesn't like you either.
Rakus gave us so much craftsmanship that there's no space left in our bodies for magic.
Strictly speaking, every time you've been too close to magic, it has ended in catastrophe.
Alright, maybe I'll meet other dwarves on the way.
Perhaps I'll meet some dwarves on my travels.
Yes, perhaps. But don't hold out too much hope. And be careful who you talk to. Not everyone out there likes dwarves.
Yeah, goblins. They abduct baby dwarves and sell them to magi, from what I've heard.
Not the best bit of business I've ever done. But what was I to do? The Longnoses threatened to throw you into the nearest river.
So he got sold by the goblins, huh? I'll set off soon.
Be on your guard. Look after the bag and don't lose it. May Palandiel be with you. And Vrakas too, of course.
I'll set off immediately. I'll see you soon, Lot Yonan.
The closer the friendship between two characters is, the higher the chance of the friend gaining AP when I missed it. I ran out. Sometimes loading screens are a little too fast. Okay, left there. Now where I gotta go? I gotta leave this place. This is probably the way out. Let's get out of Dwarfland.
You're about to dive headlong into your adventure, but then stop yourself.
A journey over 300 miles without provisions and a weapon. I shouldn't forget to think in all my excitement.
Oh, let's go get provisions and a weapon then.
The blacksmith. Do you want something?
Did a horse bolt while you were trying to shoe it? It's certainly not on our plates.
Hey, what are you doing, groundling?
Trying
We're
to
still
steal
eating
some
here.
food.
Why don't you go and get your own portion?
Alright, let's see. Hit inventory. I have magical artifacts, an amulet, provisions, and gold. Let's see if I can find a weapon now.
There was a time when you could hardly lift the heavy hammer. Now you barely notice it anymore, and it feels like an extension of your arm. Smithing is in your blood.
Alright, let's see.
This is where you swung the forge hammer for the first time 30 cycles ago. No one taught you the craft. It was enough for you to watch Lot Yonan's old smith at work. Whenever the workshop was empty, you practiced and quickly mastered the craft with ease.
Alright, where am I going to find a weapon? There we go, let's try over here. There we go. Take the axe. Alright. And here we go. Let's get up here and go out into the world. There we go, up. This is Grumpy Old Gamer. Hope you've enjoyed this second episode of The Dwarves.
Just as you reach the door, your stomach rumbles. It's not even noon yet. And you think you're going to survive a 300-mile journey without provisions?
I didn't get provisions? I thought I had provisions. Let's go back down and find more provisions.
The beer that is delivered to the vaults is supposed to be the best beer in Idderslane. It's certainly your favourite beer, but you haven't drunk enough other beers to truly know.
What do I do to get provisions?
Hello, Frala. I've got a present for you.
You take out a symbol of protection that you've carefully made from 3 horseshoe nails.
It's not the finest jewellery in Girdlegard.
One look at Frala's face makes it clear that it doesn't matter. She glows with happiness as she takes the pendant.
For me? But why?
Because you don't see me as an oddity, and you're like a little sister to me.
You could have said, but you settle with a shrug and a crooked smile.
I need provisions for 300 miles.
You're grinning from ear to ear. Finally, you've got the chance to see something of the world.
300? Tungdil, that's no errand. That's an epic journey. Wait, I've got just the right thing. But make sure the cook doesn't see.
Alright.
I'm going to Blacksaddle to return a few things to a former apprentice in the Magus.
You pocket the rye bread, sausages, and ham. Enough food for the first few days of your journey.
Perhaps I'll even meet some dwarves on the way.
Frala throws you a cautious glance. It's a tricky subject that you can't help but broach.
There aren't dwarves down here. You're the only one in Idderslane, as far as we know.
I know, but I can't just have been born out of a rock. Somewhere in the mountains, I have a clan. Maybe even a family.
Yes. Maybe.
Frala has reminded you more than once that Lot Yonan wrote to the dwarf clans, and none of them were missing a dwarf boy.
I have to go. I've got a long journey ahead of me.
Alright. Well, here we go.
I wish you the blessing of Palandial and Vracus to protect you from all danger on your journey. Here, a talisman. Whenever you look at it, think of me.
Frala winks at you mischievously.
And of getting me a nice present.
Alright. So I got this amulet or something from her. Let's find our way out. We've got the provisions. And we should end this episode here just before we go out. This has been Grumpy Old Gamer. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, tune in. And follow, like, subscribe. There should be subscribe buttons popping up above. But make sure you tune in for episode number 3 coming up very, very soon. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.